So this week, inspired. Well, what's currently happening is we're having a little bit of a downtime this week, and that's because there's a lot going on in the background. Now, it's that time of year where the sun came out, you feel it's going to be summer and you want to bring your car out, and then we get the torrential rain and the crappy sand and the dust and just everything it's just horrendous. Like, the weather is crap. And the truth is, we've had a few customers want to pick the cars up from storage, and then the weather's just hit bad again and they don't want to do that. We've got a few clients picking up new cars, but they aren't actually ready yet. And there's just a lot going off in the background. So we've decided a few weeks ago that this week we're going to take a little bit of some downtime. And what I mean by that is we have just a couple of jobs in this week, and that's primarily because today we had a collection, but I've actually got to go and arrange to pick up the Corsa VXR, which you've probably seen pretty much blow up on us, and we've posted on there about what's gone on with that car, what hasn't gone on, like, it's just been a headache. I've got to be honest. I said to myself, don't buy a Corsa VXR. I wanted one. I've been putting it off for months. It's probably the fourth time I've looked at them, and I've bought something else in between, and every car has been amazing. We've built it, we've had a good chat, like, bit of social media from it for the channel, and somebody's bought the car and it's been a really good car and they've enjoyed it, and they've messaged us and said, like, great build, love it to bits. The Corsa just bit me on the arse. If you haven't seen the posts on social media, feel free to have a look, but basically the car went away for valve stem seals doing, to check a few other things. The turbo had failed, like literally eating itself, and we spent, I'm not going to say what we spent because the guy that's done it's done us a bit of a deal, really. He's been pretty reasonable, but we spent around £1,000 on the car getting done with what it had done, which I'm not going to go into detail. We got the car back. He said he does feel there's underlying issues, but it seems to be running all right, and we were happy to kind of take the car on and just hope it works. And the truth is, I started it up the next day, went down the road, and the car just smoked everywhere. Like, literally the amount of crap that came out of that car was unreal. And that's because the pistons hadn't been seated properly, and we've posted videos of that. And we've got quite a lot of evidence to show that, which will be on another video at some point. But basically that car's bit us in the arse. So we paid 2,400 quid for this Corsa VXR. It wasn't particularly cheap with the fault. We knew it had a smoky engine, we knew it had issues, so we didn't, the guy sold us it, didn't lie about that. There's things that hadn't been right, and I'm getting a lot of to-ing and fro-ing. But we overpaid. Quite frankly, the car will probably worth 1,400 quid in the condition it is, because if you don't know people in the trade and you don't know how to do stuff yourself, the cost would be excessive for what's been done. So what's been done now is basically a full rebuild. Like, it's as close as a full rebuild that you could think. So we've had new pistons, new head on there, it's all been skimmed. I'm not going to pretend I know everything that's gone on. I don't. I've got a list of it, and it's endless. I don't think we're going to be doing anything else with this car either. If I'm totally honest, I've kind of fallen out with it. It needs a splitter repairing. It's not bad. You can't really notice, but there's a crack in it. Tiny bit of arch bubble on the back, and the wheels definitely need a refurb. But I bought that car because of the wheels that are on it. I really wanted those wheels. And if I'm honest, I'm not going to do any of that work. I'm going to get the car back. We're going to run it. We've put a stage 1+ map on there to suit what's on there, not push the engine, so we can run it in. And I'm not going to give it any stick, really, for quite some time. I am going to run it for a few hundred miles and just be happy with it. And then I think we're just going to sell it and make a loss. So if you do want a Corsa VXR, it's probably the best one you're going to buy. Because it's a facelift, which look way better. It's got the better wheels, it's got a Remus exhaust system on there, it's got H&R springs on there, it's got the AirTech intercooler. There's quite a lot of spec to the car now, And I think if you buy a Corsa VXR, the honest answer is you're going to get bit on the arse anyway. I think that's the rule. You're really going to struggle to buy a Corsa VXR that doesn't need more work than the car's worth. I don't care where you get it from. I've seen that many now. I've come to realise that none of them get looked after. None of them get running and cooled down and whatever else. They don't get serviced properly, and anyone tells you the car is mint, it's not. It's going to need a lot of work. So if you do want one, ours is going to be for sale. I don't know the price yet. It's probably going to be £4,500. Which, yeah, you will find ones cheaper. You will find some for a lot cheaper. There's actually a Nürburgring edition one at the minute for £4,500, which is the same era of car, but it's got better brakes because it's a Nürburgring edition. So it's actually got LSD, I think, as well. But you might end up needing some engine work in the next 3-6 months, depending on how you drive it and what's involved in it, because they're not going to sell you a warranty on these cars. So if you want a car that's that's going to be running right, we've got so much evidence. Anyway, it's £4,500. The other thing that we've got on is Nick at Genome has been sorting my Porsche out. So if you haven't seen anything on our Porsche or you don't know about it, you need to look back on the social media channels, and we have done a couple of YouTube videos on that. And we've got, basically we call it a Gtemu4 because we've built a replica GT4/GT4 RS from Temu, which I know all the YouTubers are doing at the minute. We've gone through that. I'm not going to go back through that. But it's epic. The spec of the car, the brakes, the suspension, and now the turbo and the setup that Nick's doing at Genome Porsche, apparently it's insane. It needs an exhaust system now making because the one that's on there is holding it back, and it really isn't any good for the car with the way, the power, and what the car's capable of now. It's basically overpassed what's currently on there. So we spoke with Tony Banks. I don't think it's going to be the easiest of jobs for him, like a lot of the stuff we take down where they're simple, like resonator deletes and so on. So Nick's tuning at the minute. I'm going to need some time off Thursday in order to go and get the car and do some checks with Nick and kind of talk about where we need to be. And then on Friday we are actually doing a video with Driven Plus, Max Stefani and racing driver Sam, and I can't tell you much more about that yet, but it's going to be a video based against our car on a GT4, a genuine GT4, and that's going to tell us where we have really built with this car, because it's someone else's views and opinion, and it's up against a real GT4, which is always going to be a tough car to go against because of the way they are built and set up and designed, and that's always going to be hard. I know we've built an amazing car. Personally, I think it's better than a GT4. I've had GT4s, I've driven GT4s, a few friends have got them now. I know that car is more capable in every way, and the way it delivers the power with the turbo is way better than a GT4. Putting it on a track is probably the toughest challenge. Would a GT4 outperform it over time? I think, yeah, it would. Like if you did multiple laps, I think the GT4 would hold up much better because we don't have bigger injectors on the car, we don't have a different fuel pump, and we don't have the third radiator that GT4 has. We also don't have a bigger or uprated intercooler. It's a stock intercooler for now, and this is why I've kind of committed to that video, because the truth is I think we're going to get some real life kind of facts and understand what this car's capable of against the GT4, so we can improve it even more, because these are actually areas that we can improve, change and get even more from it. However, for fast road use, for everyday use, and for what we've put it against so far, this car is way more capable. It really is. And the reality is, I'm not using it as a track car. We've got the track cars, you know what we've got there's an M2, there's an i30N, they've got money in them to be track built. So this car isn't designed for track use. So everybody on the forums I'm getting at the minute saying we haven't built a better car, and there's a lot of them, it's mainly Americans to be honest with you. You guys seem to be quite into the 2 litre engines over there more than we are. But there's a lot of hate on there saying you haven't built a better car. And you want draggy times, and you want tracker times, and you want loads of data sending to you on Facebook groups, which is just, it's nonsense. If you're that guy, just shut up. You're doing me head in. Because it's nonsense. It's not designed to be a draggy car. I'm not interested in draggy times, but we will actually be doing some just to kind of prove some points and get some numbers out there, and get us on the board, because we've had a look what cars are on there at the minute, and I think we're up with them, if not more. But I'm not bothered about that. I don't want it to be that. I'm never going to launch the car. I'm never going to do drags in it. It isn't that type of car. If I wanted that, I'd have stuck with the 1000 brake G80 that we had before. Track days, again, I'm not bothered about it. It's not really there to be a track car. I know it's good on it. We tested it a few weeks ago. We put it through its paces. I know where it could improve. But it is designed for me to go around Europe with friends and go to France, Germany, wherever, and know that this is going to hold up against GT3 Mantis, GT3 RSs, and that's what this car's for. It's me building a car for what I want, for me to do what I want to get from it and enjoy it, and that's what I've done. It's not about building a car for fame. It's not about building a car for everyone else to get ratings and see what it does, or kind of big up against someone else's. This is something I wanted to do for years. I said for years I wanted to build another GT4, but I wanted a turbo because I love the GT4 look, but the engines just don't do much for me. And I prefer the Cayman over the 911 for the way that it drives, being nimble, because it isn't a daily car either. It is a weekend toy. And that's basically where we are with that particular car. So if you want to see more on it, go on the social media. There's going to be quite a few videos coming up soon. There will be something on YouTube at some point from what we're doing at the weekend, but I don't know much more about that at the minute. And that's pretty much where we are for this week. I've got quite a few new cars coming in. We've put some promotions on online for PPFs. If you guys are wanting to get anything done, we've got some pretty good deals on at the minute, because we've done some deals with the manufacturers. We're still not the cheapest for PPF. We're never going to be. I'm not prepared to do that. I'd rather shut the business than use cheap PPF and do stupidly cheap prices and not benefit from it, because we warranty the film, we care about your car. We will do a 2-week checkup. We will maintain a warranty on it. We will look after you if you cause an issue with your PPF or you do something wrong yourself due to bad maintenance. And that's why I won't be the cheapest. But the deals that are on the website at the minute are pretty damn good, and there's some good deals on. And that's where we are, guys. So we're going to get the Corsa back. I'm going to step over now to Nottingham to go and pick the car up. And we'll be doing probably another video on the actual Corsa VXR, just to basically show you how well it works, make sure we're happy with it, and kind of, highlight who's done it and the work that's been done. Because the one thing I will say before we close this video is I had a lot of people contacting me via Facebook last week, slagging off where I'd taken the car, slagging off who's doing it, telling me that they are the worst person in the world and the car needs to be taken from them because of the amount of shoddy work that they see. But the things that some of these people are telling me don't even tally up and don't make much sense. And I think it's only fair, once we get the car back, to test it out, make sure everything is what it should be, and then give some credibility to the person who has actually built it. And give them some feedback and possibly try and throw some work their way, because I'm going to give an honest opinion on what this car is going to be like, and I think it's only fair that person gets the credit for it when there's so many people who seem to want to slag him off, and it seems that those people generally are competition. I mean, maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. We won't know, but let's do a proper video. Let's highlight the car. Let's talk about what we're happy and not happy with, and go from there, basically. So anyway, the next blog you're seeing here, guys, will be the sponsors, because we're talking about a few things that we're going to be doing, some projects we're going to be doing, the cars that they've got coming up, and it's kind of going to be a bit of a banter room.